Yo, hey, how are you?
Just fine. As always, just fine. Uh, have run the GenViral experiment like 30 minutes ago, but I haven't got any results yet to share. But let's see.
What's the experiment? So what do you do with GenViral?
I have created the account for the supplement tracker, and I
Mm-hmm.
have vision like I will talk and create some slides about the supplements I'm taking or somebody would like to take, and I will also show the application during these sessions, something like that. I don't think it will be like super popular, but maybe it will work. I don't know. I just have a vision, for the slides, for the content, and when I have vision, I need to get started because otherwise I will just forget about it. For
Mm.
example, like I forget about creating the link on the stream video. Yeah, something like that.
But what do you do with GenViral? So do you also, I mean, do you warm up your accounts yourself if you post on TikTok, or do you just use them for the generation of the reels, or
I'm just generation, man. I'm
okay?
pretty new for this stuff, and for the warming up, I don't know if it is like not a myth about warming up actually,
Mm-hmm.
because in my opinion it could be some kind of methodological stuff. Hey, you need to warm up accounts, you need to blah blah, but maybe not, I don't know. In my opinion, for sure, if you're active on the TikTok, you probably will be better like ranked than some guy who are just auto posting from somewhere. But yeah, I have as I am sometimes, for example, when I enjoy the view, I am watching some short videos and degrade my brain. So this time I will just do this under the supplement tracker account and maybe post something during my brain rot session. So this will be my warm up strategy. As for the account origin, I know that there is a very, very high demand for the US based accounts, but for me, it feels like super many things I need to manage to take account into, like VPN, and I will get banned and blah, blah, blah. So I decided that, okay, I will be a Thailand influencer on the supplemental tracker.
I mean, the problem is you said it yourself during the when you evaluate your ad campaigns that U.S. market is the one that is happiest to engage and pay, and especially on the mobile app front to let the business run, cover its costs. So that's why everybody's trying to
Mhm.
warm up. Of course, if you now, I don't know if you get exposure now in Thailand, if your TikToks are shown to Thai users, if that converts into any actual sales, so it makes sense that everybody's warming up
Mhm.
TikTok accounts for US, and that's very tricky.
Yeah, I have, halo effect is something like I would like to share. In my opinion, when you have some organical traffic pouring in any country, you will be ranked better in all countries. This is my hypothesis, theory. I don't have any proofs, but it seems logical for me. And for example, when I run the ads for the Google Ads for the Super Tracker in Japan, uh, I see the traffic is increasing all around the world. I don't know because Japan is also like highly expensive country in terms of Google Ads, and I see that I have more downloads from United Kingdom, for example, from Australia, for some reason. And when I turn off the Japan ad campaign, those downloads are also shrinking down. So this is my current theory, and I see proofs like in my face. So probably I'm not wrong, but maybe I am. As I don't see TikTok like a main distribution channel for me, I can be very, very creative and brave and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point because it translates also into traffic on your site, which Google then likes and proposes it to other people. Sure, I mean, I see the same thing with L3 actually. That does work. Yeah. Doesn't necessarily translate into sales, or not in a way that you can track. It's hard to say then when some future visitor is coming from. But yeah, and it's interesting. You posted some experiments over the past week where, if you turn off, I think it was Google Ads, no. In some country, it impacted, like you had some as if Google started treating you as a worse customer or as a worse source of information the moment you started playing around a little bit with the Google Ads settings, right? There was some experiment that you did where you were getting kind of negative effects when you started to limit how much Google Ads exposure you have. I forgot the details already now.
Yep.
Right?
So yeah, yes. I have shrink the Google Ads, and I immediately see the shrink of downloads all over the world. And also, when I increased the Google Ads campaign for the cheaper accounts, cheaper regions, I also see that it doesn't work for the richer regions. I don't see any increase in downloads from United States or something, but I see increase of downloads for the same tier country in terms of revenue. So yeah, probably there is some tier system inside of the Google. I don't know. So yeah, but mainly, man, I just want to have more users right now for the supplemental tracker. I see the cool organical traffic already, and I just need more users right now. I need more reviews, etc., and maybe some negative feedback or positive feedback. I don't know. Again, I think I'm pretty much very lucky with the naming for the supplemental tracker, because actually it is something I would search for myself. Well, same for the super tracker. See, I think that organical success for the super tracker is just because of the naming. It's pretty straightforward. It's something I would search by myself. And for the supplements, the same stuff. And for the smoke, the same stuff. So yeah, I don't have wavy or flowy or something like that, because for me, I will not search for these items for sure. And names are the most important in rankings. I am pretty much sure it's the best you can do with your rankings. I saw it stuff. Just make your name containing the main keywords or something like that, or maybe first keyword and second keyword in terms of importance, something like that.
But Apple and Google let you do that, even with, let's say, a brand name, right? You can say, oh, I'm Wavy, but part of the name, the very name tag, you can just put whatever, and you see that all the brands are playing with it. I'm Wavy, I don't know, Sober Tracker. I'm Wavy, Breathwork tool. So, the name is rarely just a name on the app stores. Otherwise, it doesn't work if you just have a brand name, of course.
Yeah. You just need to like your name, because, for example, I don't like the Mantisa. And right now, I'm trying to rename it from as you know, I have banned from using the Zen Math, but I like Zen Math, but there is already some Zen Math. So I decided a brave move. Now I'm trying to be a Math Zen. I don't know if it will work, but it is already in review. Let's see, because the whole concept inside of the application was built around that Zen. And I don't like that. Mantisa is just a bullshit. I don't like it. It's not shareable. It's not cool.
I have it on my phone, right? And sometimes I also look at a push notification from Mantisa, and it takes me half a second to figure out, wait, what is this?
Yeah.
Yes.
The same for me. In the talks, I always mention this app like a Zen Math, because it is Zen Math. It's not Mantisa. So it was a bad name for sure. But it is what it is.
But we have two more guests. Tom, Michael, hey, how are you? What's this week been like for you?
Michael, you first. Just give me 5 minutes, guys. Tom, you take the floor.
Okay, no problem. So it's still maxing out Claude Code subscriptions all week. Still experimenting. Now I have like 200 experiments in total, like micro papers, let's call them. And a lot of them are being killed all the time. So it's like very weird experiments and not working. Basically, I'm letting Claude Code do its experimentation for me. Now I'm throwing a lot of spaghetti onto the wall until something sticks. Then I'm curious about that. I ask it like, okay, is it good? Is this experiment valuable, and why is it valuable? And then I'm deriving like new experiments, or even spinning up my brain for other experiments or how I can apply them, which is kind of interesting. And I'm still like 20% knowledge and 80% the whole Claude Code takes over. I'm like, okay, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing great so far. Yeah, this is the current experimentation phase for me. But I also took it to heart when you last time asked, like, is it related to Epicet? I'm like, yes and no. But then like, okay, I need to work on Epicet and have at least one project that I'm focused on. And this is what I'm doing right now.
I
My
like
copy
that
machine was ringing in the background, I think.
we are all software engineers, right? At least originally, I don't know what we call ourselves now. And we've all become that manager that we hated, that gives tasks and has no idea what the heck the task is supposed to actually involve.
Those managers were the coolest ones because you can just talk with them about anything. They're like, yeah, just do whatever. I trust your instinct.
What's your so you're now running a lot of things on Claude on the Max plan. Which Max plan do you have? You have the 5x one or the most expensive one?
The most expensive one, and I'm even considering getting the OpenAI most expensive one. Just
seriously. So you really use up the limit?
I'm using up the limit. Yes.
Oh wow.
You can let it calculate how much limit it would use, and then you give him the restrictions, and then he tells you like, open 2 tabs, open these Ralph loops, and then you're good. You will max out every time. I'm hitting the weekly limits most of the times, not the daily limits. But those are crucial because then I cannot work even on my own things. So I'm like, okay, I need to babysit this a little on Friday until it resets again.
So what do you do? Do you want to have multiple subs, or do you then go to on demand, or do you just wait until the limit resets? How do you go around?
I have not hit it over. I just have barely like 5% or 2% always left over. But I'm always scared about hitting the limits. But yeah, I think last week it happened once. It was only 2 hours wait, so I waited 2 hours, which was fine. Luckily on Friday, but I imagine if I'm consumed on Thursday, I'm like, okay, what do I work now on Friday? I need a backup plan or some kind of buffer. I could still switch to GLM, but it's very slow for me and it's not very good. So yeah, I'm looking for alternatives. I heard Minmax is really good too and budget friendly. Minimax 2.5.
What is Minmax?
Yeah, it's also a competitor which does most of the things correct, like Kimike too, but a little bit better for coding. And it's sufficiently for all the tasks you would have as a programmer. And I'm thinking about exploring this one just to test it out and have some backup.
Okay. I think you Ivan, are still on Claude on the 5x plan, right? And you're quite happy there.
No. I also have switched to the maximum because for 5, I actually destroyed the limits I don't know. I am working on a lot of things right now, and I'm asking the Claude everything I can, and I'm always using the Opus because I'm too lazy to be like, oh, should I use the sonnet here? Or maybe it's haiku. I don't want to waste my time thinking about this stuff. So it is Opus. Even for example, today I have like trimmed my mustache and asked the Opus like, is it aligned well or not? So I'm kind of maximizing the Claude usage right now and asking every dumb shit or not about software engineering or not software engineering. So yeah, I'm using the maximum one right now. And I'm also thinking about trying the ChatGPT Max Pro. I have used it before. I just don't like the vibe of the codex, but the opus on this week and last week become more dumber than before, in my opinion, and I didn't like the experience. Yeah.
I also thought it's is it me? Is it just dumber? Even the research gets dumber and dumber. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Stop.
Yeah, sometimes this thing just cannot, change a color of some button. It was working like one page of context before. So it's just, let's think. You idiot. Should I do this manually, man? I don't want to do this manually. I don't want to switch this F for A, for example. But yeah, I don't know. Probably they are working on the load, on the high load right now, under high load right now, and they're optimizing stuff aggressively a bit. Or maybe they have some new model they will probably show to the world. But as I understand, you need to get like a surfer. You need to be right with the waves. When the new model arrives, they are providing the best experience you can have with the model, and you need to use it at maximum. And after 2 or 3 weeks, they are just, we optimizing things, blah blah blah, and now your Claude is just an idiot. And it's the same goes for the all providers. I think, in my opinion, in 1 month, all models became much dumber than before, and it is actually annoying. They hate this thing.
You cannot prove this even
Yeah.
if you run it algorithmically and say like, what are the weights? Is everything still good? Like, yeah, it's still the same values. So, or you get banned because you're trying to distill the
Yeah.
model.
Yes.
But we have all of these AI or LLM model leaderboards, but they are only tested at the time of a release of a new model where you're like, oh, wow, the new model is reached 10% better score, amazing. They should do like end of life comparison. How does Opus 4.6 do in a leaderboard 2 months after it's been released? If we could really like see some difference there.
Yeah, or just inverse the dependency. You have to push your updates all the time to the leaderboards instead of, they have to actually test your models for you all the time.
I think this is something we will never see from the companies because it will show like the models became dumber and nobody will like this, investors will cry, etc. So I think we will never see something like that. Only some open source guys showing that model cannot solve the same problem and blah blah blah. But then the CEO of company will come back and say, "Hey, you are wrong." And you will be banned from using the Claude or maybe OpenAI stuff. So yeah, probably we will not see this.
I'm also wondering what their incentives are. I think a little bit of budget boosting before the release, so they have some budget. But also, it's you can do a simple fix with round robin. You get dumber for a few minutes or a few hours, and then you are back to normal, and nobody would notice.
Yeah, exactly. I was also thinking like, why are you not doing this simple optimization when you are in these abusive relationships? Like sometimes it's very warm, sometimes it's very cold, and you get addicted to this. Yeah, it's the same things. Should be the same things with LLMs.
But surely they have some enterprise clients where they have to somehow treat it differently. Like if suddenly Pentagon decides to, plan the next Latin American overthrow of government and Claude is optimizing budget on a round robin basis, that's probably not ideal, no? So I mean, then there must be a trade. We would have heard of it by now, no? If that was the approach.
So in theory, GitHub Copilot Enterprise could pull this data, and then the performance, and then analyze it. And even at work, I'm constantly hitting walls now. I don't know why, because it apparently is dumber. Yeah, I don't know if they have these deals, and if somebody can even control that. Let's say they do have this power button, like, yeah, we're going to war, and they want to stop this. They just make the model dumber at this time, and you say like, okay, we cannot go to war because some model predicted something really bad, and yeah. So I'm not sure about that one, but it's interesting to be in full control of the AI companies here.
By the way, I see Farux was trying to join, but the link for the Discord expired. So I think it has a week validity. We have to always get a new one, I guess.
Actually, it should be the...
So let me just answer him, and then we have to also probably put it into the pin post. It's this one. All right, perfect. Then hopefully he'll see it and jump in. So we have to. That's annoying. I thought there would be some permanent link. I guess there's only these 7-day limited invite links for the Discord server, but that cannot be. Must be something more permanent.
Yeah, we can set up the never expiring link.
Let's do that for the next
time.
And
I was thinking, yeah. And I was thinking it is already like that, but no. So it is strange. Okay. Get back here. So Michael, where are you? Nothing is happening.
I think the man is probably on the way. It sounded like he's on the phone. I think normally, right? He's in the morning on the way somewhere.
Running. He's running. I have seen. I think he is get used to running right now. Oh, actually, I have dropped the Apple Watches because they're broken, and I bought the Garmin.
See this?
My friend,
Hi guys,
70.
Okay.
Hi.
My microphone
And
wasn't
they are
working.
very cool. Oh.
So I saw that you switched to a Garmin.
Yeah. I am now a sport enthusiast.
You will hate it.
I dropped the watch as well. I moved to an Oura Ring. I think they're pretty cool. I can see you shaking your head right now.
I mean, I've had Oura since the first gen, whatever it was now, 6 years ago, and they're nice. They have one issue. Well, okay, they have multiple issues. One is that that doesn't really merge properly with the data you have about your sports stuff, right? So, I mean, I have Garmin, which is worse for sleep tracking, but it takes into consideration the trainings I've done yesterday. What should I do today? My sickness cycles, whatever. It brings everything together. So it tells me, okay, you know what? Based on all the data, today maybe do some sprints, or tomorrow maybe do some strength training or whatever. Oura is just one. It just measures sleep, even though for the sleep it's the most consistent, I think, measuring device. So that's one issue. And the second issue is it is legendary for how bad the battery life is in Oura. So at the beginning, you're going to charge it once, 5 days a week. In a year, which goes by very quickly, you're going to be charging it every second day, and then eventually basically every day. Luckily, they are so legendary.
I've only had it since January, so 3 months in. It seems to be okay, to be fair, at the moment. But in terms of like the sports side, do you know what? I actually mainly got it for the sort of sleep tracking, to be fair. In the sports bits, it's okay. I mean, I don't really look at stats too much. I try not to get too engrossed in, what my how far I ran, how fast I ran, how long I ran for. I find that when I get super obsessed with that sort of stuff, so it just damages my sort of view on that sort of stuff. I'm going into the gym, I'm trying to do too much when I shouldn't really be doing that much. So yeah, I got rid of all of that a long time ago. But it's not too bad. I stick it on. It's on charge right now. Actually, funny you say about it being dead. It is on charge right now. It's weird to charge a Ring up. That's like super strange. But it's not too bad. I mean, yeah, the only thing I am thinking about is when I go on holidays and stuff and I go for swims, I don't think I would keep it on my finger because I feel like it will probably just fall off.
Oh, okay. It's very durable. So, I mean, I've been lifting weights with it and stuff. It's pretty
I do lift weights with it, and it's scratched quite a bit, but it's what I'd expect. I mean, you can buy, sort of ring covers and things like that off Amazon, but I just feel like what's the point? It's going to get scratched, so you might as well just.
And certification. The old versions didn't actually get scratched, but I think they got cheaper materials or cheaper polish or something.
Yeah,
one tip
like
here.
Silver one, I can't remember. Yeah, just silver. It was like the cheapest one. I mean, it was still like £250.
It's not cheap.
Still quite expensive, yeah. But you could get like titanium ones.
Yeah.
You could spend like an extra £100 on them. But they're not too bad. Me and my partner, she got one as well. So we sort of started the year with 2 Oura Rings.
Nice.
I've still got my Apple Watch on the side, but I'm trying to sell that. Nobody wants to buy the bloody thing. So I actually looked today, and I'm really, really tempted to get the Neo, the MacBook Neo. I don't know if you've seen any much. Well, you probably have seen it, but the new MacBook that's come out, the cheap version, 8 gigs of RAM. I mean, it's not that much, but I think for having it as like a play around tool, I was thinking of getting one. And when I checked on the app, it gave me the option of being able to trade my Apple Watch in, and I could get up to like £100 off. So it would end up making that MacBook like £400, which is pretty. Like, I mean, for a laptop, it's quite cheap. So maybe I might use the Apple Watch for that, and I can use that when I go traveling around. But yeah, no, guys, I'm good. Yeah, I mean, it's been a busy 12 days of March. So as you can see, I've been shipping every day, still going.
Every day, I see it every day. Still
into the void. Still talking into the void, and still not got no people using it just yet. But as I said, I'm sort of using this month to get as much. I mean, I haven't even actually launched it on any sort of launch site yet, and that's something I'll be thinking about doing. Once I actually get a few users, actually, I think I mentioned this in the first call that we did, but at the start of the year when I started shipping different products and stuff, sort of got uber happy with the fact that you can sort of get things, churn them out straight away. I was sort of like launching it, getting an MVP done, launching it on things like Product Hunt, and getting nothing from that. And I thought, do you know what, maybe this time I'm actually going to get a steady base first of all, get some users, then launch it, because you've got such more flexibility on that, really. If you're launching a product that you've already got users on, you can almost get them to go onto the site and actually upvote for the product that they actually use. Whereas originally I was trying to get people upvoting a product that they don't actually know of. They would just upvoting it because they know of me. So that's changing. But yeah, no, it's been busy, yeah.
But you should also not think of the launches as something you do necessarily only once, that you have your golden window and then you use that opportunity and then it's done. If you look, there's a bunch of products, even on Product Hunt, and there's also a bunch of builders that recommend this, including like legends like Mark. Just launch the same thing multiple times, find a new pitch or add a new feature, and you can come 3 months later again onto Product Hunt says, I think 6, but I've seen launches being done much more often with the same product. You can just try a different angle and relaunch, and as if this was a new product, and just get a bit more traffic again, a bit more feedback. It's not just a thing that you have to save. I only have a one-shot edit, so I'm going to make everything perfect over the next year, and then I'm going to launch. I think that's a bit of a fallacy.
Yeah, I think so. But also as well, it's easy to sort of feel that as well at the time. But I suppose the goal is to try and get it as feature heavy and packed as much as I can for this month, and then I can sort of use the next months to launch and stuff. It's obviously something that's not going to happen overnight, so it's just having that mental strength to just keep going. But I feel like some of the updates have been really good, actually. The update that I was working on this morning and which will go live today is quite a good one as well. I'll obviously let you know before it goes live, but it's the option of being able to actually combine entries into one entry itself. So more like, I think I spoke last week about how it's called changelog, but some people might want to call it a release note. And obviously I find, day to day, when we update release notes, it's never just one item that's in that. It's that release note is made up of different entries. So the user will be able to select as many entries as they want and just combine it into one by using Claude's AI API key, which will basically just summarize it, auto-summarize it, give it a date, give it a headline, and then using yesterday's update, they'll then be able to showcase that as like the main update for that month, for example. So it's just sort of trying to I mean, I've used changelog systems before, so it's sort of looking at it from a different angle and saying, how can I make it any different to what's actually already there? So hopefully with these additions in there, like for example, different layouts, different themes, I find that changelogs are always just a generic, everything's in order, it's all down. So maybe adding different themes into that, different color schemes, match your actual branding color schemes. Hopefully these are all things that you think, actually, maybe this is different to what I'm sort of used to using at the moment. So obviously it's not a product for everybody. I get that. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. I understand that as well. But like I said, our company internally, we are going to start using it. So as even if they just use it, I actually don't care. Like, at least I've built something that we can use internally. And it's also the leverage as well. I mean, at the start of this year, I started all of this sort of indie hacking solo journey sort of, it sounds really cliche saying it, but I started the journey. And the leverage I've now got at the company is like far greater than I had back in December. So it's only literally a month's different, which is quite crazy, to think that, there's new sort of projects coming on board internally that I've been given more access to. And
why? Can you elaborate on that? Why did your leverage grow in the company?
Well, just pure. I mean, don't get me wrong, the company I work for, there's only 4 people here. So it's not like it's a massive corporate company that, there's a boss above a manager above a boss again. Like, it's not that at all. It's very, very chilled. It's very laid back. We've only got one sort of there's 2 developers here. So semi-developer, and then we've got like the main developer as well, Anthony. But it's just the fact that, these products that I've started to build, especially changelog, internally we've started to say, actually, maybe we could start using more Claude internally instead, and instead of outsourcing some work, we can bring it internally. So there's just other things, for example, like knowledge bases that we've started working on. I've been doing some work on an API to get like a template shop for our customers to use to sell their products online. So just things like this that I've been able to actually do on my own and sort of bring that to the table, and it's been great. It has been great for that. And one of the shop templates that I actually made, the company bought it off me as well, away from my wage. So it was quite good for that, to be fair. And it was quite a decent amount of money as well, which I was quite happy with. So when I mentioned about the leverage, that's what that has actually brought me. So I'm glad that I started this journey, because if not, I would have been in March this year, still doing my day-to-day job. It's quite crazy how much time can change things, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Huh? But it's also, I mean, it's crazy that it's already March. Holy crap. You said you started in January. It feels like it's yesterday that the year started.
I know, it's crazy. It is so crazy. Like you said, a year goes really quick. You mentioned about the ring. Your battery's going to die in a year's time. I've only got, 9 months left of this battery as it is.
On the topic, I just wanted to close it as well, because my girlfriend also, I got her the ring last year. So she's at this point, like 1 year in, she's complaining she has to charge it every year. And she's just like open complaint on the Oura website. I think they are so legendary now for how bad their battery gets within very short amount of time, that they've automated the process of replacements. So for her, it was 4 clicks on the web, and now 3 days later she has a new ring. So I'm just want to let you know, once you're unhappy, don't wait on it, just get it replaced. Huh?
Yeah, it's funny actually. So just before I bought the rings, we were sort of like, I was looking on Reddit on the community thread of people's reviews and what it was like, and the main thing I was really worried about was the weightlifting side, the strength training, because obviously it's a ring, and probably a watch might be a lot better for that, and things like that. So I watched YouTube videos and things like that. But one of the actual reviews that stood out the most was actually the customer service. Like, as much as obviously you joke about, the fact that it's 4 clicks and you get a replacement ring, it was I remember correctly, the post was about how somebody bought a ring and the size of the ring was like a size 9 or a size 10. Okay. And obviously they was using the ring, they was going to the gym, they was getting healthier and whichever. So obviously they was losing weight. And ultimately it came to a point where they put the ring on and the ring just fell off the finger because the finger was like slimmer. So this woman like sort of emailed the customer service and they said, oh, this is great news. Congratulations on the weight loss, blah, 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 blah. We'll send you out a replacement ring. And they sent her out the newer size. And I thought, do you know what? I'm actually going to get one, because that sort of like customer service and, the fact that they was congratulating them instead of saying, well, send it back and we'll give you a discount on the next one. I sort of thought that was cool. But as you said, it was probably just a bot. It was probably just a bot that was just, whichever. But at least it was a nice company to say that. I mean, most companies you'd say, I'm not bothering, or, you know, return it and we'll give you a refund and you can pay for a new one. So that was pretty cool. But, you know, one thing to note, actually, another thing about the sort of tracking you mentioned about running and things like that, she actually wears it on her index finger. I wear mine on my wedding ring finger. And I've always wondered, like, obviously when we train, we both train differently, so we can't really do a like for like run on exactly what it was. But I actually seen a review where they say that you're better off wearing it on your index finger because it tracks you better, like tracks your steps better, it tracks the sleep better. But obviously I wear it on a different finger. Now I thought it was quite weird how a finger could make. It's weird actually because we're obviously talking about indie dev talks and bloody Claude and stuff, and we talk about fingers and rings. But I always find it quite weird how like a different finger could give you a different result of like a night's sleep. Anyway, weird.
I was not
Maybe
aware
there could
of
be a
that.
SaaS in this. I don't know. Maybe.
I know they say
whatfinger.com.
I know they say middle three fingers, right? Because you have the best blood flow there. But I was not aware that between those three, you also get a difference. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's honestly there's like a lot of like write-ups and stuff, like uni studies, and yeah, quite, you know, a lot of people get paid quite a lot of money to do these studies.
And maybe from what you're saying, I mean, that actually is interesting. It's I think it's a lesson for us as well as builders on the customer service. I mean, there's some cost to sending a replacement ring with no questions asked. It can be abused and whatever, but it's also, I mean, I guess they see it as a marketing, right? Rather than being the company with the reputation of you're going to buy something and in a year you might not use it anymore because it's too much friction. They are the company who we just takes care of you. Anyway, what percentage of people do go through the trouble of asking for a refund or for a replacement ring? And probably not so many. And if they take it as if the company takes it as a marketing expense to get a, you know, like a hardcore follower that will then say, yeah, sure, you know, I actually like this company Oura, you should look them up, then that's probably rather cheap marketing, right?
The other thing that's great as well, by the way, is when I go for a run, I don't have to stand before the run and set that I'm going for a run. And I absolutely love that. I hate the fact that when I had my watch, I had to wait, I had to go on my watch, open the watch up, especially on my Apple Watch, I had to scroll down, outdoor run, click on that, wait for the 3-second timer to go down, and then start. Like, the fact I can just open the door, go on my run, come back, it does it. I love that. I don't know whether I'd pay like £249 for that feature, but it's great. Anyway, how are your systems going?
And I'm quite an opposite, actually. I really do like the management of running on the Garmins right now, because I can set up the lab, I can easily track the intervals and stuff like that. And it's much more pleasable experience in running for me right now. And also, I don't need to charge this thing. This is the main actually benefit switching from some kind of Apple or Samsung watch. You just charge it like 2 times a month and you're good to go. And it is very, very freeing feeling inside of the head. You don't, but for the sleeping tracking, for example, it feels like it's tracking some shit, because I am a champion of the deep sleep right now. I'm sleeping deeply for 2 hours every night. I wear those watches, and I don't believe that my sleep is so good.
But all of them, even Oura, I mean, you cannot from a blood flow, you cannot properly. I mean, you can make guesses, but unless you have electrodes on your head and measure brain waves. How many times are you gonna, or have I been watching TV with girlfriend on the couch and the Oura is like, oh, you're now deeply asleep. Good job.
I've had that a few times actually. You go on and it says, oh, you had a nap at 2:30 in the afternoon. And it was like, I wish I did, but I didn't. You know. Yeah, it's quite crazy, you know. But isn't it so strange that we sort of we're having this conversation about sleep tracking and, you know, running and things like that, where, you know, surely you can tell how much sleep you had by how you feel when you wake up in the morning, right? You know, why is it that? And I'm bad for this. You know, I look on my Oura, it tells me I've slept, and I go, right, okay, I'm going to have a good day today because I've slept for 8.5 hours. That's what it says. It's strange that we're in that sort of weird. It seems dystopian, that, doesn't it? It's almost like if you go on a run. Let's say, I mean, I've done it many times where I go to the gym. Like, I've been to the gym and I forgot my Apple Watch, and I sit in the gym and I go, oh my God, I can't believe I've left my Apple Watch. This gym workout is not even worth anything now. And it's quite weird that, isn't it? Actually, the more I talk about it, the more I feel like I'm so trapped in this environment, and there's no way I'm going to get out of it. So it's probably going to get worse.
I have the opposite experience on that. So I have a Garmin watch also, and I sleep with it, and I always track my sleep. And I had a discussion with somebody on X, and he proposed like, I will tell you how to improve your sleep. Because I have never reached anything above 82 or 83% on sleep. Even though I have like 1 hour 40 deep sleep, 1 hour 40 or 50 REM sleep, right? So it's optimal. He told me like, this is ideal. But this stupid watch always says like, yeah, and continuous sleep. It doesn't reward me for doing good sleep. I feel like super great the next day, and it just said like, yeah, you had some continuous sleep. It's not perfect. You need to reach the 100%. I slept more than 8.5 hours. Like, it's terrible experience. And at this point, I'm like, I don't care what it tells me. If I wake up really, really nice, it's all. I trust my body more than a stupid watch.
Yeah, I mean, sleep is like super, super important. I mean, everyone talks about how important sleep are. I just had a thought then, actually. Maybe you can add it to your application arsenal, Ivan. Maybe you should put things in, not so much sleep tracker, but when people create an app where it's like, oh, I can't use an app, it gets locked because obviously you spent too much time on the phone, for example. Maybe you should just lock everybody's phone if they don't get like 7.5 hours of sleep. Or maybe they can't use Claude until they've slept a decent amount. You can promote good sleep health, save people on the Claude subscriptions.
But actually, man, it's quite an opposite, because if you don't have a nice sleep, you should use the Claude, and you should not use your own brain.
I thought you was going to say that you wouldn't be able to use it because you couldn't test it because you don't sleep that long at night, so you'd be locked out of your own app. Anyway, what's everyone's plans for the rest of the week then? So feature updates, new products, or I mean, Farux obviously joined. I mean, it'd be great to hear.
He's had a big launch.
Because I see that I shared it as well. So it'd be great if he could sort of join and mention that, because maybe I might start using it. Who knows?
Hello guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I had a big launch. I mean, it's not big. I launched it, but I haven't got any users yet. We only use it internally now. But I'm still working on it every day, trying to make it as easy as possible for normal users to start using it. And I've currently got 3 integrations planned. I'm planning to probably by end of this week have Notion integration ready, Google Workspace integration, and also GitHub. So you can easily connect all those services to Pocket Claw and have easily managing everything on the go. And I've pushed those services because I personally use them. Once I get those out, probably I will get some more attention, and I will start looking for services that actually people want besides those 3, and slowly just grow into more integrations. Ideally, I need to have like 50, 60, even 100 integrations so I can cover as many cases as possible. Yeah, that's it for now.
TikTok. I'm
voting. Yeah, I know that. I remember that.
But actually, having some
teams.
hive mind around the projects would be also very nice. I am thinking of powering all my projects to some database, knowledge database, like for example Notion, or maybe
Obsidian.
Obsidian. Yeah, something like that, because it feels like I can utilize the knowledge around the monetization, I have integrated all the projects, the connections between that, the cross promotion banners I have in most of my apps. So probably I will be able to plan some marketing campaigns to optimize Google Ads and something like that. So probably it would be a nice idea, actually.
Have you read the article from Ole, who mentioned that one of Claude Code, a marketing guy, does all that, and it's only one person who's responsible for whole marketing of Anthropic, which is insane. And he just does it with a CSV file, and just go through and MCP client to just test the advertisings. I'm also inspired by this, and my experiments prove this as well.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I think this data-oriented life is also leads to the dependency on the trackers and stuff that Michael said, like, oh no, this ring said that I have slept worse today, I will feel worse. Yeah, because we are really depend on data and we process data, and actually it's very cool. So our brain establish some connection between the data and the real world. And when we see bad data against our health, we are starting to feel some bad feelings inside of our body and feel anxious about not optimally sleeping, not optimally running, etc. Actually, I really like the current Garmin setup in those terms because it doesn't. I really like the negative motivation. Maybe it's because of the, I don't know, European or Slavic style, but I don't like the encouragement. Like, you're doing great. No, no,
I'll
no,
remember this
no.
next time you put a tweet up. I'll do the opposite of what I usually do. I'll
No,
say
no,
this
no.
feature sucks, man.
Yeah,
Get back to the
yes, yes.
drawing board.
This is quite a
I did do
mediocre,
this.
right?
I remember I did this once with one of his features and on built in public, and somebody else like, "Why are you criticizing his features?" I'm like,
Do you know what? That's quite nice, though, isn't it? Because on Reddit, if you said that, somebody would join in and say something 10 times worse than what you said.
Yeah.
At least in the
that's
building
normal.
public community on X, people actually, jump to support the actual the tweet, the guy who tweeted. Yeah, on Reddit that would be crazy. If you said like ship something better, someone would be like, "Man, this app is so ass, man. Why are you even wasting your time doing this?"
Maybe it can be a marketing strategy. Like, I found this super tracker and it is a completely
Honestly,
sucks.
when I was sort of that mindset, when I did the CV sort of AI generator tool that I was working on, the sort of idea of that was the marketing side was going to be like this tool is made for like indie founders, solo devs, and the tool is basically there for when your SaaS idea fails. And that was like the marketing side. It was going to be like sort of a joke on, you can spend all of your time trying to make a product, but it might not work. So why don't you use this CV generator so you can actually get a proper job, right? But I thought, do you know what? Maybe I'm not going to use that because I'm quite like an like empathy sort of guy, and I felt quite bad writing that tweet, so I deleted it. But I feel like that could work, the sort of reverse engineering of like the usual marketing would be use this, try and find a job, blah 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 blah. But maybe if I revisit that again, it would be, the tool which is there for when your SaaS fails, right? I mean, that's a great headline, isn't it? As much as we all don't like, agreeing with it, but it's a great headline. Almost like your idea of using like a sobriety app.
Yeah.
But
Jokes already about this, but yeah. Hey man, I see you cannot drop the booth. So I have an application, some alcoholic storage, I don't know, some store integration. I see you have resetted your streak like 3 times, so probably you will not be able to drop this.
yeah.
So
It's
here
quite
is
funny.
the link.
It sometimes works, It really does. Maybe if I go, maybe I should reply back under my tweets and just be like, "Hey man, like changelog isn't taking off. Use my CV.fast."
Yeah, actually, man, it can work. It can work and actually funny. In
You know,
this
we
bottle
spoke.
of encouragement, some sarcastic and criticism is always nice.
I don't know whether some people understand the English humor though. At times, I think there's a line between like having a joke and being deadly serious, and sometimes I can be like very, I don't know, straight faced whilst joking, and people might think I'm being like really serious, even though I'm not. Anyway, we spoke last week about Reddit and Reddit posts and growing your sort of page and posting into, you know, Reddit communities. And last week I was so on it. It was unreal. I was actually thinking about posting on Reddit before posting on X, and that really helped the mindset shift change. But this week I've actually completely forgot to type on Reddit at all. So I've missed out on like 4 days, 5 days of day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8 on my post. So I'm just like trying to maybe have a conversation about this. And, you know, how would you sort of remember to post on Reddit? Are you using anything like those tools where you can sort of set, you know, it to automatically post onto the Reddit threads? Are you doing it manually? Are you actually posting on Reddit at all to share your products? How are you guys actually doing it right now?
Just manually, man. I cannot forget about some product because I have it between, not between, in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have developed this feature. Probably I can post on Reddit something. When I stopped taking the Reddit so serious, actually it becomes much easier to post anything because I don't expect every post to be getting some attention. Yeah. It's not working like that. The same
Well, the
goes
thing
with
is, if you
TikTok
post on
and
Reddit and it gets 100 views, it's an extra 100 views that you never was going to get anyway in the first place.
Yeah. And it's also
I'm finding
indexed.
I'm just struggling to remember to like. I post on X all the time, but Reddit, whether it's because I have to then select the community that I'm actually going into, and like, I mean, to be fair, it's quite similar to X. Thinking about it in my head, but I just didn't know whether there was a sort of maybe like a tool that people use, or you know, maybe even, you know, would it be useful adding into changelog a share to Reddit post? Maybe, you know, I've got share to X, share to LinkedIn at the moment, so yeah, whether that's something I look into. I mean, I've seen quite a lot of these social media managing tools, but I don't know. I mean, even though you're sort of writing the tweet, it doesn't seem like it's you doing it, which is quite.
And some of the platforms also penalize, right? Whenever you go through an API, even X might, I'm not sure. Like whenever I schedule something in Buffer for, like for example, the Health 3, it has less of a range than if I just go manually into the account, seemingly at least. I mean, this is just anecdotal, and just put the post in myself. I mean, TikTok is the same thing. TikTok is legendary for this. If you just upload the video on the phone, you get more initial views as the algorithm is testing your content than if you just go through, I don't know, PostBridge or something. So
you mentioned Buffer. So you use Buffer yourself?
Buffer and PostBridge, those two. Yeah.
You use Buffer. Yeah. So I use Buffer for work. Which is great for work. We only have like the free plan, so I think we connect 3 of our social media channels, which is fine because we've got Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. They're the only 3 that we sort of post to. I find that really great, by the way, for a free tool to be able to use Buffer. I mean, we don't pay for it, and this is sort of what I was like when I was seeing PostBridge, which is a guy on X who does that, right? And there's another one called PostPlantify. Have you seen PostPlantify before? Heard of that guy? I think he's actually in Vietnam at the moment, maybe. But anyway, they're both obviously similar tools, and I was sort of wondering, like, what's the difference between like the one that you're using and Buffer? Like, is there much difference between the two? I mean, I'm going to assume you pay for. Do you pay for both of them?
Yeah, so I mean, Buffer is the one that's older and more mature, and seemingly has, let's say, more integrations. PostBridge is, as you say, just a guy, an amazing guy from the built in public community, Jack Fricks. And he's built it for his own apps. So he before that had some Curiosity Quench and some other apps, and he wanted to just have a tool that's specifically for how he's planning to market them. Not have to go through. Buffer is a little bit expensive once you have more channels and stuff, but it's just a different flavor. It doesn't have anything that's somehow revolutionary.
Well, I actually downloaded the app on my phone, the Buffer app. And I was quite surprised that I could only schedule 3 tweets, like 3 things in one go on the app. I had to then pay. Whereas on the desktop app, I didn't have to do any of that. So I suppose obviously you pay for the fact that you've got it on your phone, it's easily accessible. So, you know, maybe I might try Jack Frick's. I've seen it on X quite often. So maybe I might give that a go. It's quite weird, isn't it? I mean, this is something Buffer I've used for like so long. Like I can't remember, maybe even since like 2019, potentially I've used that. So having that idea back then to maybe even like replicate that is like sort of it's crazy to even think that. I think that maybe might be a good thing to do. Use an app that you use internally and sort of just recreate that.
Yeah, exactly. But PostBridge is not so old. No, PostBridge is max 2 years. I think probably it's like a year and something. When Jack came out with it. And I think the price was the initial kind of selling point, and him being public builders or other public builders jumped in.
I think it's great to sort of, help each other out really in that sense. So I will definitely take a look into that. Have you guys used any sort of like a landing page review site before, like website review site where you sort of put your website in, it tells you like a score and it gives you sort of suggestions? Have you used any of them before?
Only the Claude.
Yeah. The reason why I ask is I used there's a guy I follow on X. I can't remember his name, really bad, but I talk to him quite often, to be honest with you. He when I followed him the first time, he had a SaaS, and it was like an automated AI note taker. I think it was called like Notify or something like that. It was called. And anyway, he changed whether he sort of sold that, got rid of it or not, I don't know. But then he sort of made a site called FixMyLand.ing. And that's really a great tool to use, to be fair. So this is like a sort of plug for that if you ever wanted to look into that. But I also noticed the other day there was another site called Boost Your Landing Page, which is sort of similar. So I just didn't know whether you used any of them at all. I mean, most of them is what you'd get through AI anyway. To be honest,
but that's the thing, right? I always have the fear whenever I hear of these tools that it's the same as Claude would give you when you just look at the landing page, and it's not necessarily. I mean, is it actually guaranteed that this is going to work? It's some.
Well, it gives you suggestions, but it's quite actually funny because one of the suggestions that it gave me, I sort of thought, okay, I'm going to play around with this. I'm going to ask Claude if this suggestion is great. And it was funny because Claude said, no, it wasn't. So I was sort of wondering whether maybe that site was giving me a reaction from Codex or maybe another sort of provider. So I actually thought that it's basically just Claude giving you the same as what you'd do if you said, can you give me a review on the landing page? But to be fair, it gives you some sort of insights, and I think the main sort of selling point for that is it tells you what like sort of communities would be great to post your product in, things like that. But again, Claude, I suppose, can do the same as well. But now I was just curious because I used one. I think I paid I think it cost like £3.50 or something like that to get it done. Which again is really nothing, is it? Like, and if you're supporting a fellow builder with that, then long may that continue, I suppose. But I was just curious on that.
So I was streaming without your guys' sound. So I will re-upload the VOD and delete the stream.
Yeah, luckily I'm recording everybody, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I was just looking quickly on X. I know there's a guy, but it's not necessarily a landing page review, but sometimes he does posts kind of tailored reviewing landing page, but he mostly reviews SEO, which is Ilias ISM, so Ilias Ism with one L, and I can share him afterwards. And he's actually decently big. He has 24,000 followers, and he has some agency that does SEO reviews. And I think I've seen him as a marketing to kind of review the bigger names in the industry, such as Nomad List or some businesses from Mark as well. And I've seen in the past on his timeline that like he did some review, and then a month later, one of the big builders, now I cannot remember if it was Mark or somebody else, said, "Oh yeah, actually we've played with this and we've implemented your advice and it's made a big impact on our bottom line." So I think he's a good source.
Yeah, I just found. I'm going to follow him. Actually, I'm going to review some of that information for sure.
He's really good.
The depression
go ahead.
comes back after the recognition of no sound on stream. The mood immediately drops. And I don't know. It was like the default setup, etc. So I need to have a checklist for sure next time, like to see the mixers, etc.
I think it's a lot better doing this through Discord. Everybody sounds a lot clearer.
Yeah. Discord is better for sure. As for social posting and landing pages, my opinion really depends on the products for sure. For example, for me, landing pages probably it's not the best option.
Yeah, I suppose with you
I
guys having apps, it's
yeah.
not really. It's just a front page. I mean, that your landing page
Yeah.
could just literally be a text that says, "This is what my app does. Here's a picture of the app," and that's it. I haven't actually got
but
into doing
actually,
apps yet.
blogs, man, are working because you can optimize for some keywords.
Okay.
And bye bye.
Yeah, he said that he's off to do
Oh,
some
bye bye.
fire alarm testing.
Okay.
We don't want to hear that. That would be very loud. Although I don't know what German fire alarms sound like.
I have a short question to Faru actually, because I was looking now on the Pocket Claw. Like it's quite a steep price, right? If I want to jump on to the beta, which is probably because there's a steep price to running the thing for you as well, to operating it. Are you thinking of having any kind of like bring your own keys version as well, or some other trial? Because the beta right now starts at $40 a month, right? And I'm not even sure exactly, like I don't see a video or something of what exactly that might look like then on the daily basis for me. Are you thinking of somehow reducing that friction in the beginning, of making it easier to onboard and to test what you have?
Yes, I was thinking about that, and ideally, what I would like to have in future, I'm not sure whether it's possible or not, but currently, it's possible to connect your ChatGPT account, but the way it's done not the official way. Like I'm using the same stuff that OpenClaw provides you. So if I'm not sure if any of you have tried this, but when you try to connect your ChatGPT subscription to OpenClaw, it gives you a link with which you access in browser. You access it in browser, it goes to the Codex stuff, and you connect to your account that way. And once the connection happens, it redirects to localhost link, which you copy and paste it over to OpenClaw. And OpenClaw just takes the tokens from that link. And I basically made the same system within the app. So internal browser pops up, the same stuff appear, and once the last page is detected with localhost stuff, app detects that, automatically closes the web view, gets the tokens, passes it everything to the OpenClaw, and it synchronizes it like that. And this is fine for developers or early users, but it's not fine when I will go publicly and will start gathering a lot more people. And ideally, I'm not sure how will OpenAI and Codex be with this integration, and if I would be able to get official integration, which I'm not sure, that would be the best approach going forward. That way, I could make a subscription where you bring your ChatGPT subscription over and pay only fee for the cloud machine part. And currently, I've talked about this previously. I've managed to get the running cost of cloud machines below $10. Like you get enough RAM, enough CPU usage for basically running any automation. I've done lots of tests on this, and with this approach, it would allow me to do subscription for maybe $10, $14, or something like that. And I think that will be the more approachable way. Because currently, when you subscribe for $39, you also get $10 credits for AI, and you can use any AI. Basically, that's included within the price. One of the important things that I'm struggling a bit in terms of future pricing is 30% cut from Apple. Like when I will publish this to App Store official way, I will have to consider the 30% cut, and I'm not sure how is that going to work out with the current setup.
For you, it's 15, huh? You can apply for a small business discount, and you're gonna get it unless you
But
have.
after 1 year.
No, immediately. You mean you get back to 30% after 1 year? But it's also not the case somehow. I think as long as you don't. I'm still getting 15.
I think, man, it is after 1 year you can pretend like you don't have enough revenue and you're a small business.
You
and
can
for
start
Google,
with
it is
immediately. You can start 100%. I've done that. I've opened a developer account as company and applied, and then it took like a month to get it approved. But as long as you have less revenue than some amount, you get 15% instead of 30%.
Okay.
I mean, 15% is still a lot. Like if you consider it to Stripe fees, which are 3%. Yeah, definitely. Pricing is one of the things I will be considering, but not at the current stage because I need to get other stuff ready before that.
Okay.
But in terms of video and all that stuff, that's planned. Yeah, as I said, like currently you don't really have option to set up the daily stuff. Like you have to go through manual setup. You have to pass tokens and credentials and all that stuff through chat, which is not the best way, I think. And once I get the first integrations out, I will prepare a proper video demonstrating Notion integration, Gmail scanning, and all that stuff.
Guys, sorry to just jump in here. I'm going to have to shoot off because I'm going on a call soon. Now, last week I said next time I'll join with my camera on. This week I've obviously joined without my camera on. So next week, I promise I will join with my camera on.
We're going to clip this. We're going to make it into YouTube short. Just these 10 seconds.
Hold me to that. Hold me to that.
All right.
But yeah, do you know what? Great talking. Again, I know sort of sometimes it's easy for me to go off on a tandem about different sort of things. I talk about Oura Rings and fingers and bloody whatnot. So I do apologize for that. But hopefully next week we'll have more to discuss. I mean, definitely with the changes of Claude. Claude Cowork as well. I don't know if we touched based on this before, if anyone's actually using that. That could also be a great topic to maybe touch on. Also the fact that Copilot is also introducing something similar as well. Yeah, maybe it would be great. You probably start with a list of things to go through, and it always goes off on different tandems. But maybe we could sort of get like a sort of meeting note or something that we can maybe even touch base on if we write a list of, things that sort of happen over the week, and maybe we can sort of reference them in this call. If you guys think that that's a good idea, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also great just having chats as well, guys. But yeah, nice to speak to you all anyway, and have a good rest of the, look, judging from the background of both of your pictures, have a good rest of the evening. Maybe.
Or the rest of the day, yeah, absolutely.
Or the rest of the day, yeah.
Sure.
I'll speak to you all again soon.
It was great talking to you.
Later.
Take care, brother.
Bye.
And I think we'll slowly wrap up as well now. I think Tom and Michael are going now. We've been going hour and 10 minutes. Great to have you, Faru. I'm really curious. Hopefully you can also join next week or over next week where the Pocket Claw goes. I would love to test it. Right now, just the $40 is a rather steep price, and I'm not quite sure what can be done with it already with the app, but we've talked about it. I find the OpenClaw very annoying to onboard on, and I don't see the benefit yet, but I'm very curious if how Pocket Claw is going to turn out. Having it in the phone would be super cool. Be able to play around.
Definitely. It's just a matter of time. I just need more time to get everything ready. But yeah, it's definitely already better than OpenClaw, because with OpenClaw you will spend hours setup. With this, you can already get instance ready within 5 minutes. Yeah.
All right, Ivan, agreed that we wrap it up slowly?
Yeah, sure. Of course, we have spent I have streamed 1 hour without sound, so it is time.
Step by step.
Yeah. No. It's actually a step backward today. But yeah, I will, when you fail something, you probably remember this thing better than when you don't fail. Actually, this same goes in life. When I have I don't know, when I fail, usually I remember how to not do this next time. So I will have some kind of protocol before starting the stream. So yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Agreed.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I will share some Apple Ads results, and the next week I will also share some TikTok results already. Actually, I probably will off the Apple Ads next week and put all my money in Google Ads because it's working better for me. But let's see.
Yeah, I'm starting with TikTok as well. I have 5 phones all around my desk here, all linked to different accounts. So I've given up on GenViral a little bit, but I'm just now trying by hand a little bit the direction that Adria is going, saying, hey, this warm-up thing and VPN thing, anyway, gets you banned sooner or later or shadow banned. I'm just going to try now, and I'm trying now to see what kind of a reach I can get on a normal, natural-sounding TikTok in my country, so we can compare results next week then.
Sure. Yeah, that's kind of interesting because I have a lot of B2C apps, and for sure the TikTok, Instagram, or something like that would work better for me. And I need to utilize it. I'm just not TikTokable right now, but maybe I can work on this.
Excellent. Looking forward. Then, boys, thanks a lot for the talk today. It was very nice.
Thank you.
And see you again in a week.
See you.